How do I find authentic happiness? Well, happiness is a huge concept. And what does it even mean to be truly happy?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Feeling worthy is the one thing that you need to do to find happiness. Now, I'm James Burnham. I work as a fear coach and I guide people through fear. And feeling worthy was one of my greatest fears. I didn't feel like I could. I was scared to do it. And I can show you how to do this. I'm going to tell you a story of what I did to learn how to let go of all of my sense of self-loathing, feelings of unworthiness, to get to a point where I could stand here and talk to you about this without any worries or concerns about what you may think. It's a powerful thing. So if you want to really truly feel authentic happiness, my one thing is learn to feel worthy. Don't look outside yourself to find that sense of worthiness. Don't distract yourself with outward affirmation, with the need to have adrenaline or the need to chase this or that or have somebody tell you that they love you. These are not the ways to find happiness. It must come from within. And if you're looking outside yourself, you can only feel moments of joy. You can never feel that abiding happiness that comes when you know you're enough. And I'll tell you something else. You are enough because you're human. You're part of the human race. And when you begin to understand that that is the full requirement for being worthy, it changes everything. It changed everything for me. When I was a little boy, at the age of 4, a teenage boy came into our home that we were taking care of. My mom and dad were always open to many people coming into our home and helping them out. They were caring, good people. And this boy was a monster. He abused me really, really violently from the age of 4 to 8. And it impacted my life in ways that I could not understand for decades. And the deep sense of self-loathing and unworthiness that I had were ingrained in me at a level that is hard to understand if you haven't been through that. Sadly, too many of us have. Too many of us have faced those type of things. And we feel like we cannot be worthy, and we look for outward validation constantly in order to find our sense of worth in others' eyes, because we can't provide it for ourselves. If you're in a relationship, if you're holding down a job, anything that you're doing, this lack of worth will come back to haunt you. It'll haunt you when you're criticized because it'll make you feel defeated. It'll haunt you when you are asking for something and you get rejected because you'll feel like you can't be enough. It just shines through in everything that you do. And it makes you perform at a lower level than you're capable of. So how do you find your own sense of worth? That is a trick. I think for me, the biggest issue was first understanding that I didn't feel like I had any value. When I began to understand that, when I began to understand how much loathing I had for myself, I remember specifically at a time in my life when I was married and I had done some things in my marriage that just repulsed me. I had cheated on my wife. And after the first time that I cheated, I remember sitting there considering killing myself. Not just considering it, planning it, thinking what I would do. But I had kids. I had 2 kids at the time. And I could not think of a way of killing myself that would ensure my children didn't know that I had committed suicide. And so I decided I had to figure out a way to accept who I was as I was in order to stay alive for my children so I could be their dad. Not a good place to be starting from. And I was on depression medication, and I had been suicidal my whole life to this point. And I was just struggling to be present in any way with anything that I did. And I would distract myself with anything I could to avoid looking at that deep sense of despair that I had within, that longing need to feel like I had value. And I couldn't find it in the eyes of others because I would make mistakes. Because I always do. I'm just a regular guy. And when I did and I saw that look of disappointment, it was a crushing load that I couldn't bear. And so it limited my ability to communicate, to connect, to know how to proceed, to know even to even honestly have a dream. I couldn't really pursue what I longed to do because I didn't think I was worthy of it. Nothing could truly make me happy. Now, I wasn't a Eeyore walking around with a cloud on my head. People that knew me and saw me would have thought that I was happy. But deep inside of me, I always had this sense that if anyone knew me, if they truly knew me, they wouldn't want to be with me because of the things I had done. That's a tough thing to carry, really tough. But as I began to go through therapy, through the process of realizing I need to fix this, I learned some techniques that allowed me to understand that my worthiness was not dependent upon my actions. My worthiness was intrinsic to who I was. It was a concept that when I heard, I thought was foolish because all of my sense of worthiness was based upon my performance. And switching to become a person that could feel worthy in spite of my performance was a powerfully hard thing to do. But I know you can do it. And I began to do a few things. I practiced meditation to be able to understand what was going on in my head. I practiced the act of self-compassion, which was so powerful for me because I had to forgive myself for what I had done. And I had done some things that I'm sure many of you listening think are horrible. I know I did too. And then I had to honestly begin to open myself to be seen as I am, for what I am, without any hesitation. Now, if you're in a space, you don't have to share every intimate detail of your life, but you have to be able to stand and know that no matter what anyone knows about you, you are worthy. And when I got to a place where I was able to forgive myself for my past, accept that I had these thoughts and feelings within myself, and to cover that black hole of need for outward affirmation with my own sense of worthiness, where I was able to stand and feel good, I could be happy in incredibly difficult situations. I could stand and not be depressed. I got off depression medication. I don't use it anymore. And I don't suffer from it. Now, do I feel sad at times? Yes, I do. But I don't feel unworthy. It's a different thing. It's freeing. It's powerful. And if you can get to that place where you feel worthy, you will be of the most value to others. That is authentic happiness. To feel like you are of worth and value, that's really, really a place of happiness that we're all seeking, right? I hope so. And when you can stand there and feel worthy, the happiness that's within you can withstand all kinds of outward turmoil because it is outside of you. It is not within. So that's the trick. We just talked about authentic happiness, and it really just dials down to feeling worthy of love. And if you want to know more about that, I got a great video for you to dive into. And if you have ways that you find authentic happiness that I'm not talking about, I'd love to hear them. Or if you're struggling to feel worthy of love, let me know. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'll respond. I'm James Burnham. Thanks for hanging out. I know you need to feel worthy of love. We all do. So here's that next video, how to feel worthy of love. Check it out.